I'm Chloe.
I'm Cosette, and this is the 14 Steps Away podcast. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Yeah, it's official. We're ready to talk, and we hope you're ready to listen.
We love talking, and we thought that other people might enjoy watching us talk. So,
yeah, we're happy to have you here. But we're going to do introductions for episode 1 and kind of do some backstory. So, Chloe's going to start for us.
Yeah. So, I'm Chloe. I'm 22 years old, and I was born and raised in Nashville, Murfreesboro, Middle Tennessee area. I've stayed here my whole life. I recently graduated in May, and I'm kind of just floating about, doing my thing, living life. I was recently engaged. Me and my fiance Adam are planning our wedding for June of next year, so we're wedding planning a lot. My hobbies include shopping, walking, hanging out with my best friends, Cosette and Justin.
Hooray. Thank God. Thank God that's a hobby.
Yeah, of course. Wedding planning right now. Oh, and crocheting. So, yeah, we do a lot of our crafts together. A lot of our
Most
little
things
girl
we do
stuff.
together.
Yeah, most things we do together.
We're taking a tally. It's probably really high.
We actually did tally how many of the same clothing items we have in our closets. It's 34, in case you're wondering.
No, 35. We have 35 of the same clothing items. So, yep.
My fiance and I, Adam, have 2 pets. We have a baby pug named Pookie and our cat named Bubba's. So they're our pride and joys of our life. We love them so much. They're basically our little babies.
They are the babies of the world.
The babies of the world, yeah. Our baby pug. That's what we call
them.
them.
The babies of the neighbors, really.
That's true. Yeah. Well, not really.
Pookie's the baby.
Yeah, Pookie's one of the babies. Bubba's not a baby, though. Bubba's in...
Yeah. Bubba's the old guy. Fun fact, Bubba's got his name from my family dog growing up, so...
She just really indoctrinated me into her lifestyle. And, just happened.
It just makes sense.
And now, for Coco's introduction.
I'm Cosette, better known as Coco to most, honestly. I am 22. I got married this past May, so I am 6 months into my marriage. My husband's name is Justin, and we have 2 Australian Shepherds. We have a blue merle named Asher and a red merle named Ranger that we only got just about a year ago. I love most crafts, so you can easily find me sewing, crocheting, or scrapbooking after work basically any day if I'm not hanging out with our best friends. I have lived in Middle Tennessee for most of my life, basically since I was a baby, but my family's originally from Northeast Georgia, but I would say that Middle Tennessee is what we call home. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. Needed a little background information so that we could get into our more exciting part, I feel like, which is our friendship background. Who are we? When did our friendship blossom?
When were we born?
Where did we come from? How did we get here? Now you'll learn a little bit about us. We met in high school.
We're
22 right now. Oh my gosh, we're almost never the same age.
We're almost never the same age. You're right. We're only the same age for a couple of months.
Yeah.
So
we can actually say we're 22 right now.
23 on Friday.
Did we meet when we were both 14 or were you 15 already?
Well, that depends. Did we have gym first semester?
First. Yeah.
Well, then I was 14.
Yeah, I think so.
And then I turned 15 a couple months later. Maybe it was freshman year gym, sophomore year driver's ed.
I don't remember having driver's ed together.
We had driver's ed together. That's why we were in the cafeteria the whole time.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Because you were in the better driver group, and I was in the bad driver group.
This is how I remember our friendship.
I was a really bad driver.
I remember our friendship. We met in gym. We walked laps. I saw you in Miss Meadows' class, and then we were best friends. That is it. The rest is blank.
Was junior year.
Yeah, exactly.
It jumps.
That's literally, the blanks are we met in gym, then basketball homecoming. Was it that? Yeah, after I spent the night after basketball homecoming. And then junior year was Miss Meadows. I don't know how we were friends between.
Yeah, the homecoming was sophomore year. Because we only had homecoming freshman and sophomore year. Because it sucked.
Yeah.
Freshman year homecoming, and then sophomore year homecoming. Yeah, you spent the night.
Yeah.
And that was...
And so it would have been when we were 15. It would
Oh
have
my
been.
God. Do you even remember? Was that the first time you spent the night?
Yeah.
That was terrible. Do you remember what happened that night?
I remember some about that night. My favorite memory is that I have a picture. I had short hair then, which is crazy because I recently chopped my hair after the wedding, and I hadn't really, I feel like, had like a bob in a while, or looked like this. And somehow in the picture from our first sleepover with her older sister, which out of all the people to have a picture with, very interesting, I somehow look quite similar, which is not refreshing. So, I remember Grayson. I remember Nemo.
You don't remember why you were sitting next to Grayson? You don't remember what was happening the moment you were sitting next to Grayson?
I remember because you told me a couple months ago.
Oh.
But I don't remember.
How that was so
I have
vivid
really
for me,
bad
but I think it's
memory.
because I was embarrassed. So, of course, it was vivid for me.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember sleeping over.
Well,
I remember the house. I remember all of that, but
she remembers moments. I guess I remember moments too. Our moments are not clicking together.
Yeah.
Because I remember Jim walking laps. You were friends with
Yeah.
we had a mutual friend, and we would walk laps with her in gym, as one does. And we just would chit chat, and I got to know so much, I feel like, just walking laps. Because when you're walking, you just yap.
You just
know?
yap, yeah.
Especially when you're teenage girls. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You get to know so much about each other, and you open up a lot when you're younger. We met in gym. And then we did have driver's ed together, but we weren't under the same teacher. So that's probably why you wouldn't associate us. Because there was 3 different teachers.
Yeah.
There was like 3, the classroom was cut into 3. And you were on one side, and I was on the other. And then...
Yeah, we started in the classroom, and then once people started driving, if you weren't driving, you were in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's all coming together.
Yeah.
So we had within... I don't think it was the whole group. I think it was within your 3 groups. You had to, like, rate yourself as a driver. And I rated myself quite poorly. And I think that her group, or her, like, class part started with the good group or ended with the good group or whatever. Theirs was opposite of ours. So we started with the, like, I guess, I don't know, we started with the really bad or the really good. And whatever our schedules were opposite, so that we were in the cafeteria at the same time.
That makes sense. Like, we were driving at the same time, and then if we weren't driving, we were in the cafeteria at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I did not
remember that. Our story of bonding is
that
walking, which we still do.
Yes.
And
it's followed us.
And sitting home and talking in the cafeteria. And
which,
then
my kitchen's right there.
I was going to say, and mine's 14 steps away.
So true. So true. We'll get all into that. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Don't get ahead of ourselves.
Fall of 2017 is gym, and then spring of 2018 was when we were in driver's ed together. And then after that, we didn't have any classes together for the rest of high school, I'd say.
We didn't.
Yeah.
Our
friendship just stood the test of time.
Because
against all odds?
Against all odds.
Truly.
Not another class together, junior or senior year.
Yeah. I feel like
distance makes the heart grow fonder.
So not true.
Not true. That's so true.
So not true.
So the opposite of our story, actually.
Actually, nothing about what we stand for is that.
Yeah, no. Not at all, actually. We do not endorse that.
No. Don't ever be apart.
Don't ever.
Don't spend time away from each other.
Yep.
Bestie senior year.
And what year were you in Miss Meadows' class? Junior or senior year? Because I would go and visit you all the time when everybody was making that puzzle.
Yeah. Oh my God, the puzzle. That would have been, I want to say junior year because.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I had anatomy and whatever. Anatomy and physiology, yeah.
I think it would have been junior year because I feel like we had that class the whole year. Senior year, we had COVID and we went,
And never mind. I base a lot of what happened in high school off of the people that were in our lives at that time.
Yeah. Yep.
So junior year. So that is, that's the high school of it all.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, senior year, our friendship only grew stronger.
Yeah. I don't even know how it got, like, nothing honestly really should have lined up that I feel like we should have, like, been, like, best friends.
Like this now? Like where we are now? Nothing really
about
makes
where
sense.
we started makes sense. It was just, like, I don't know. Because I remember her coming in to Miss Meadows' class. So, like, just the year after we had met. And it was like, every time she came in, we were the annoying people. Like, she would walk in and we would like, I would like jump down and we would go hug every
We'd, like,
time.
run into each other's arms.
Yeah. I don't know why.
We were connected.
We were
like,
there was
inseparable.
nothing that should have, I don't know. It just happened.
It just made sense.
So yeah, I would say after junior year, like maybe late junior year, probably just inseparable.
Yeah. We built a friend group.
Yep.
The rise and fall of the friend group.
The rise and fall of relationships and friendships.
Ooh, relationships and friendships.
Yeah. We threw a prom together.
Yes, we threw prom because we didn't want to, our like a lot of the moms, I guess, in the area were throwing a prom, or like Rutherford County or something like that was throwing like a prom
for COVID
because of COVID.
Yeah.
And we were not down with that because I was like, if we're going to have a knockoff prom, we might as well have it with people we like.
Like, yeah, because it's going to be like all these annoying rules and stuff.
Yeah.
And we didn't
Dress
even do anything
code.
crazy. Yeah, there was like dress codes. It was just
Masks.
like all this weird stuff.
Oh my God, yeah, no.
Yeah, no, that was not going to happen.
But Coco was a trooper. She, my sweet, loving stepmother. My sweet, loving stepmother. She is a perfectionist. She really is.
Yeah.
We
had
was
to
like,
get the house perfect.
If we're going to throw this prom, if we're going to throw this shindig, you're painting the door frames.
Yeah.
You're painting the hallway.
We remodeled the house so that we could throw
or
prom.
You're priming and painting every door.
Yeah. In the garage.
You're cleaning the air vents.
Yeah, we put in the work. We really wanted to have prom.
We really wanted to have prom with people we liked and cared about.
Yeah, and it was really good. It was beautiful. We had a great time.
I would say as far as prom goes, I don't regret anything about, like, I feel like prom was good.
Prom was good, yeah.
Like, most people are like, oh, prom was lame. But our prom?
No,
it was our friends.
Was good. I've never reflected on it with any sort of anxiety.
We had filet mignon.
We did.
We slayed up prom.
We had bacon wrapped asparagus.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that was high school, and then college came, and I went to UT Knoxville for 1 year. Not the right fit, I guess, would be the most simple way to say it. I feel like COVID affected a lot, being a freshman in college during, not the height of COVID, that would be extreme, but like right after. It was 2021. No, it was 2020, yeah.
That was 2020.
It was fall of 2020.
Everything was like online.
Yeah, so it was still like within like a few months of COVID. Yeah, it was different. A lot of the like college experience that I feel like most people imagine and or experience actually was halted, as many people I'm sure know. It either affected you or someone you knew or whatever. And it was just a little bit off. It didn't end up being worth it for. Their scholarship wasn't as good as the college in our hometown, and it just ended up kind of making more sense ultimately for a lot of reasons to move home. And I moved home. We got our first pet, me and my husband now, but my boyfriend at the time. He bought us a house. I did the last 2 years of college. I graduated a year early. I did the last 2 years of college at MTSU here in Murfreesboro. And yeah, whenever I came home from Knoxville, I don't know. I don't feel like there was much to say between that year. But when I came home from Knoxville, we did a trip together.
Was that when you came home?
Yeah.
I thought that was while you were still away. I remember we ordered our joint Shein bikini haul.
Yes.
We
had to
away.
FaceTime. We FaceTimed in my dorm to pick the bikinis we wanted to bring to
because why would we pay shipping twice?
No.
Never.
To the beach for our girls' trip. And yeah, it was kind of the celebration. When I got home, I moved home either at the end of April, because I did move home early, end of April or beginning of May. And then we had our trip late May? Middle May?
Yeah, it was May.
And
what she meant to say was that gravity pulled her back to me. She doesn't know why. She knows why she moved back home. It was not the cheaper tuition. It was the pull to be with me again.
So true.
That's what happened.
Yeah. And that's why we immediately did a trip together as soon as we were reunited. Yeah.
And that trip was
crazy.
Kind of a catalyst for things.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like our first like trip without like our parents.
Like we were
adults. Young adults.
Yeah.
Young adults. Going on a trip. It was still obviously like kind of supervised in a way because like we went to where my grandma's property is. it was definitely like interesting because we got to like road trip together,
Yeah.
drive down there, just.
We had 2 special guests with us.
Yes, my 2 sisters.
Yes.
Well, 2 of my sisters, Layla and Allie. They were there, and while we were on that trip, I began the talking phase with my now fiance.
Yes, it's beautiful. And the location was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Fell into place in so many ways. That was a really good trip. We had a lot of fun, and
It was like I don't know how to explain it, but we hadn't seen each other in so long. We hadn't been able to hang out consistently, or like talking consistently is just hard when you're away and when you're young and whatever. And I think that I don't know, it was a good bonding
yeah.
for our friendship.
Yeah, especially because when we were seniors, or like when COVID hit, so the last semester, 2 quarters, whatever high school does, of senior year, we were like inseparable. So moving, not that Knoxville's far in the grand scheme of things, but moving like 3 hours away, yeah, we weren't seeing each other in the way that we were used to. So the trip was a good balance for that.
I agree.
Do you have anything to add to that?
To that portion of our lives, not anything there. I can't really remember what happens immediately after the trip because I for some reason I thought you went back to UTK.
No. Well, I came back.
Or you had like.
And then you had your first date with Adam, like right after.
It was immediate.
Yeah.
It was like
the next day or something.
It was like the night I got home, I think. He wanted me to we didn't have our first date that night, but he wanted me to come over and we just walked. And we just walked and he ranted and that's how I met him. Like actually first in person met him.
That was then, and then I guess that was my birthday. I guess would be the next noticeable thing. And that was Samurai birthday.
Yes.
Yes. We went to my birthday. So many things just make sense. That would have been my 19th?
Yeah.
My 19th birthday, I spent with Justin, my husband, Chloe, and then her little sister, Allie. And that was it. It was a lot of fun. We took pictures and, actually we went to see Jen after. Yeah. We went to see her stepmom after. And they had balloons and it was so cute.
Sometimes I feel like your birthday has had unfortunate events occur.
Yes.
At a lot of your birthdays.
My birthday is not slayed for our friendship. Well, that sounds really dramatic, but she was always out of town.
No, it was either when we were in high school, I was always out of town.
Yeah.
It was always like the 1 week. And then when we turned 18, COVID, we went to Soda Bar Grass.
Oh,
and do you remember?
Oh my God.
Do you remember that? That was kind of awful, actually.
It was kind of awful.
There was things happening.
Oh my God, I blurred that out.
There was things happening, and I was attempting to...
I have such a bad memory.
I was attempting to mediate the things that were happening and distract from the things. I don't really remember what happened. I'm sure the morning of was great because I remember Justin and like the things he was doing for you that morning. Like I remember I remember like seeing pictures of like gifts and stuff. And I remember you guys had like a little opening gifts moment that earlier in the day.
Oh, yes,
and
I
then,
got my shoes that day.
I was going to say, that was your shoes.
Yeah, I
remember
got
the sunflowers.
my UNC Dunks.
I remember that so vividly for some reason. But, no. And then we went to Soda Bar Grass.
Yeah.
And people were, people were people.
Yeah.
Human.
Yeah. We just haven't honestly celebrated, for all the years that we were friends, we didn't celebrate many birthdays together.
No.
Which was always super weird.
Well,
like the timing of it. We celebrated your
17th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was at that house. And then 18th was when you did the proposal picture.
Yeah.
And then that was also a weird birthday for me for different weird little things. Nothing about you, but of course. And then my 19th birthday, I went to Dollywood. So that was like just family though.
Yeah, because that would have been that year.
Yeah.
So we would have celebrated my birthday.
Your 19th birthday,
we
went to Samurai's.
Yeah.
And me and Allie were dirt poor, and we were going to split a meal. And then a man, they seated us at with another family.
Yeah.
And the man found out it was her birthday.
Hibachi style.
Yeah, hibachi. And he paid for everything.
Yeah, it was so sweet.
So sweet.
I don't think I wore my sash, but I think maybe I had a crown on or something. I'm just a girl. Yeah, it was this older man that was there with his family or something. We were waiting for the checks and they never came. And he was he just ended up telling us I took care of it. Happy birthday.
So sweet.
Yeah, it was so sweet. That was the best human
Yes.
Yeah, one of those, like, just, like,
Yeah.
people.
And, like, we were young and whatever. But there was also, that night, I think it was, like, people had canceled. Like, people who were supposed to be there had canceled. So it ended up just being me and Allie. And that's why Jen did what she did at the house.
Oh. That's so sweet. It was so sweet. It was adorable.
I think she set up, like, sparkling grape juices and, like, a cake situation, I think.
And it was just like, oh, let's go over there to hang out. Like, I didn't know. But she had, like, balloons and, it was just a like, sweet celebration.
Jen's very good at throwing together things.
Yeah, definitely good at making people feel special.
For sure.
Yeah. So that was, we just said 19. So that was 2021. Yeah, checks out. Okay. So that was right before we both went into our sophomore years of college. So I just transferred home.
I was pretty heavily involved with a friend group at the time, like my church's small group. And we honestly didn't hang out that much.
Yeah.
For 2021.
Because I feel like Adam wasn't, like, a part of that group, but, like,
No.
y'all had mutual.
Yeah, we had mutuals.
Yeah, so it just kind of, like, made sense. Like,
Yeah.
when they started dating, they just kind of had people that they both knew, and it just kind of, like,
Yeah,
it just kind of fell
and that's
into
when you
place.
guys moved. Like, around that, or when did you move?
We moved in February.
Of 2021?
2022.
2022.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we had that, like, fall.
You guys were supposed to move in October.
We were supposed to move in October, and our house was not done. We had signed the contracts, all of that, but it was a new build, and it was not done. And so we ended up moving about 5 months later in February to our house. And quick recap of that, it was in the country. And that was not perfect, ultimately. It was nice to have our place and, like, settle in, and, you know, it's just nice to have that. But ultimately, it was kind of far, made socializing and friendships and all of that a little bit difficult. So, yeah, we moved then in February.
But we reconnected. How long were you living there? Quite a bit of time, I'd say. By the time we reconnected.
We reconnected, like, a year later.
Yeah, and
I think.
That is when Tuesdays started.
No.
Really?
No. We had quite a transition period.
Oh.
Tuesdays only started fall of last year.
No.
Yeah. That was charity season.
Really?
Yep.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Your relationship with Adam alone
has changed so much. No, this time last year, me and Adam were inseparable. Best buds.
Brothers.
Wanted to hang out all the time. Had so much to say.
They loved talking to each other. They just couldn't stop chattering.
Yes. She, like, had to, like, separate us because we just wouldn't stop talking.
Yeah. It was actually a problem.
Yeah. No. Me and Adam's relationship and friendship took quite a while to get to.
See,
that was only last year.
I don't have a great memory either then, because I'm remembering things very wrong. But I remember us hanging out. I remember 2 occasions where we hung out, but I don't really remember.
Let me figure out
much other than us talking. But when I do know when we started talking again, I felt like we were texting nonstop, and I was like giggling.
That night we were. That night, me and Justin were at Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, the whole time I, like, just wasn't paying attention to our date because I was like, I have shit to handle.
Yeah.
I got things to take care of. I have a bad memory too, but I guess I want to know what month it was. I know that it was.
Can't scroll through our text that far back. I don't
know. That was not as long as it felt like. So I guess that it was.
When was that?
March of 2022.
No. When
we reconnected.
Okay. Rekindled.
Which
I guess it's not that.
It felt like so long.
I was going to say, it was, I guess, a year then at that point. But was it less than a year?
It was less than a year.
less than a year.
It was.
Because your birthday.
It was July to March. So I guess that was like 8 months. Yeah.
It felt like an eternity.
It felt like,
we
should
should
a really long
never
time.
separate again.
No.
We were apart.
So yeah, we had that night, and then I remember none of it makes sense. Everything was just like, everything just clicks into place. Like the beginning of our friendship, like where we are now, all of that just like clicked.
The TikToks of people saying how I remember us becoming friends, that's
yes,
a good description.
Yeah. I
Okay.
have no memory.
No,
it's
no.
blank. I remember going to Green Hills once after we
Yeah, I remember
rekindled.
that. Loosely, I remember that.
Very loosely. But
And then taking pictures was another.
at Belk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Belk.
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 We love Belk. Big Belk girls.
Big Belk girls.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I really remember. But then I feel like 2022. Oh, I'll say this. I guess that would have been March. So I guess that next semester, that fall, was when we saw each other most mornings. And that was, so we were going to the same college and had classes like in the same building actually. And we would end up seeing each other. And that happened like a few times where it was like, oh, we ended up seeing each other. And then I am a chronically early person. And that would not always be the case for my counterpart. And so I would wait. I just like risk being late. I was like,
so brave.
Because
selfless, honestly.
Because I'm like, I felt like it was very helpful for us. Like our little bit of time was like our walk to class was like no pressure, but it was like such good catch up time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I would just like wait and be like,
Hope
well,
you're
she's
not.
probably coming to class. Maybe I'll see her. And then I'll walk with her. And then you invited me to your birthday. And I was like,
Pause. I want to say that's another time, an instance, I guess, when it didn't make sense for things to line up. Because if it were up to me, I would have taken every single college course online. If it were up to me, I would never have stepped a foot on that campus.
yeah.
I don't, yeah, you know. But I had to that semester. I had a lot of classes on campus that semester. A lot for me, but
Yeah.
like 3 out of 5. And so I got to see you.
Yeah.
And the mornings where like her class was canceled and I would have to walk in alone felt like the gloomiest, rainiest, saddest days of my life. And it was like, it's such a short walk, like maybe 13 minutes, I felt. But
that's so specific.
well, I did. Here's the thing.
You had to be there just in time.
No. What happened was I hated being on campus and I have horrible anxiety when it comes to new environments and surroundings I'm not comfortable with, obviously. And I had to, this is embarrassing, but it was like my junior year. Or was that my sophomore year?
Sophomore year.
Whatever. I did not know my way around campus. And at that point in time, everybody knew their way around campus. And I did not. So I was Google Mapsing it and walking with the Google Maps because I did not know how to get to and the little app that they had.
Building.
Peck Hall.
Peck Hall.
And it's so easy to get to, but I didn't know anything.
We had to park in a weird spot because the
Greenland.
parking sucks. Yeah.
We had to park far.
Yeah, we had to park far.
Because the parking does suck if you don't live on campus, to be honest with you. Which, why do people who are living on campus getting better parking when they already live so close? Like, I'm driving 20 minutes across town.
And I would park there. I feel like it was very far. It was kind of far from my first class, and it was far from my last class of the day, Greenland lot.
Dr.
And
Stepson.
I would park there because I'm like, once that one time or the few times that it did line up where we would see each other, I was like, well, I guess I'll just keep parking here. And so I had a trek when I left my last class every day. It was far. I had to like cut through a like football field. That football field.
So brave.
You remember basketball? That football field.
Oh my God.
I had to walk through.
Ew, that's so far, number one. Number two, I thought about that the other day because that was such a random and niche moment for me.
Yeah.
Like, my memory blocked a lot of it out because...
Yeah.
But I was telling Adam about it the other day because I had a memory, something about that day. And I was like, oh, do you remember, like, whenever you're, like, in high school and they let you, like, leave early if you go to the game or whatever homecoming situation? I was like, I remember going to one of those with Cosette, but I was like, it was so weird.
True.
It was not because of you, obviously, but it was so weird.
Yeah.
And
being on that campus was weird. And then ending up at that campus was weird.
I
All of it
agree.
was weird, yeah.
And I always told myself that I would probably never go there because of the
that's
fact that
another
I was-
part. Neither of us,
Neither of us wanted to go there. No one wants to go to their hometown college. Like, duh.
branch
But
out.
yeah, but I was
beat me
trying
out.
to be financially responsible, which I'd say that
You were.
I was in the sense that I have no college debt. Woo. Sometimes look back and I'm like, is debt really real?
I have college debt, and I don't feel like I gained anything from it.
Okay, but imagine if we had been there together.
Exactly.
Would it have been worth it?
Yes.
If we had gone somewhere cool together.
Yeah.
Your cupcake dress is just waiting, you know?
My cupcake dress is literally just waiting.
Just waiting.
So yeah, that was college, I guess.
Oh, my birthday. I invited you to my birthday.
Yeah, when we walked to class, you invited me to your birthday,
My
so that was October of
21st
2022.
birthday?
It was your 21st birthday. That was the first time I met Adam.
Really?
I'm pretty positive.
I guess that makes sense, because when else would you have? I'm not going to invite him to Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can black that part out. I don't know if you want that being out
I
there.
don't care. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the first time I met Adam, was at his apartment at the time, over there, that morning for your birthday. Yeah, I feel like things were fine. Things were always fine, I feel like, when we were hanging out, but, like, getting back to, like, because we were so close senior year, that it took Bachelor. It took Bachelor Nation.
Bachelor Nation brought us back together.
Yes.
It reunited us as friends.
Because
which, obviously, but
she mentioned something about it, and I never watched any of those. I never really watched any reality TV. I think I watched, what's that model show?
America's Next Top Model.
Yeah, I watched 2 seasons of that, old seasons, with my mom sometime in high school.
Such a show to watch with your mom. Like, such a mom show.
Yeah. But I'd never watched any reality show, situation, Bachelor, anything. And the idea was offered. And it was like, we could watch it every week together. And I was like, this is just what we need. And the consistency was perfect. It was all we needed. Because everything was normal when we hung out, but it was just like getting back to, like, when you have a life.
Yeah.
When we have significant others, and I was living
and things
kind of far away.
Things were slower then, like the seasons of life that we were in. Yeah. There wasn't as much to chat about. Not that we couldn't have found things, but there wasn't as much to say. Like, things were slower. We were in school, we were working, we were not, there wasn't like anything crazy going on. It was just hard to get
back to, I feel like, the, like, I don't know, not like comfort, but like, the like priority of it all.
I agree.
Like, because there was just so much, even though there wasn't that much to talk about, there was just like other things had happened. Because I didn't really know, I didn't at all know Adam, because we met each other like this February, basically.
Basically, re-met.
We met this February, and
you met on his birthday. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. It just kind of like we needed like a push. I feel like we needed a push to like normalcy, stuff like that. And charity season of The Bachelorette was just that.
If you know me, you know I live and breathe crappy reality TV. You name it. Vanderpump Rules, Bachelor, Bachelorette, the whole franchise, Bachelor in Paradise. Currently, what am I watching currently? What is the one? Oh, well, I watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. If you are anybody, you watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And obviously I had to make sure she watched that also.
Of course.
And Dancing with the Stars now.
Yeah.
Newly on our Dancing with the Stars grind.
Yes.
Shout out to Joey. Shout out to
Pommel Horse.
Riley. I was going to say Riley and Pommel Horse.
Yeah.
And Jen, too.
Yeah. Love Jen.
Our loveless queen.
Yeah.
So sorry.
So sorry.
So sorry, girl.
She is our queen, but she is loveless.
But I said I needed someone to watch The Bachelorette or Bachelorette with me consistently, and she had never seen it.
Yeah, I'd never watched it, but it just felt like
Bachelorette virgin.
Yeah,
I popped her cherry. Make that the title.
That's gonna be the edit. It's perfect. Yeah.
So that would be so funny.
That was August, or maybe right at the end of July of literally only last year.
No way, because we've watched so many seasons since then.
We watched Charity in the fall, Joey this spring, Jen this summer.
No, we watched someone else, I thought.
No, because Charity's led to Joey's and Joey's led to Jen.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, we watched like 2 episodes of Jerry.
Oh, yeah, that happened in between, but I don't know if there was some. We tried. We attempted.
Yeah. But so that would have been, I think we started it in July of last year, because I remember very shortly after, like, we were only a few episodes in when you got your job, and that we kind of like changed for a little bit.
Yeah, because it was
when we watched.
Wasn't it Wednesdays? And we changed it to Tuesdays?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was good. It was very good for us, just like our scheduled time to be like we are hanging out. This is when our friendship is getting attention, and it was good. And then tell me a little bit about your moving.
So, I lived at home for the majority of my college career. Adam had lived in an apartment when, like, he had just moved into an apartment when we met. His lease end, he resigned, his lease end, whatever. He kind of was back and forth with his living situation. He lived with me at my mom's for a little bit, and then my mom decided that was not going to happen anymore. So she said, well, and he was going to just find a new apartment. Like, he would have just gotten roommates or whatever. But at the time, it just made sense for me to move. So I was like, you know what? I'll just move. So we moved into the apartment that we're in now last November. And then Coco always, like, we would go back and forth going to her house and then my house for Tuesdays every week.
But realistically, I think you only came over a couple times because it makes way more sense.
Yeah.
So I would like plan for my in-office days. I have a hybrid job, so I go into the office 3 days a week and I work from home 2 days a week. And I just kind of started planning the days so that I could be in the office on Tuesdays. And then it was kind of in between, I guess, where I work. I would go south to her apartment and then like further south and west to go home. So it was just kind of like the halfway point was her apartment. So it didn't make sense for both of us to drive out to where I was living, which is like, gosh, from this side of town, like far, like 45, 50 minutes, when I could just like basically stop here off the interstate from like leaving work. I started doing that more. The convenience was amazing. I'd come over and he'd be like, oh, do you want to go do this? Do you want to go here? Do you want to go get this? Very normal things. This is very, very normal. However, not normal for me out in the country. I got a ant in my pant, one might say.
One ant in her pants.
One singular ant wedged its way in my pants.
And once that ant was in her pants, I also had an ant in my pants. And it felt
they were
like
sister ants.
Sister ants is what they were. And they just...
And yeah, I went home that night and I think Justin was already asleep. So I went to sleep and I woke up the next morning and I was like, we have to move to Murfreesboro. From there, we started house hunting. Did not immediately decide on an apartment. We started house hunting around here, looking at our budget, stuff like that. It wasn't going to work out, basically, was the gist. It didn't make sense for a lot of reasons to get like what we wanted and inevitably move. Lots of things. It just didn't make sense. So then I was like, I think I was over here one night and I don't even know. We just like, we're joking. We like jokingly were like, oh, like, what if we were neighbors?
I was like, well, there's a 2-bedroom.
Like, you could just move in here. Like, there's a bunch of apartments available. They are, like, building more.
I was going to say, and at the time, there was no one here. Like, me and Adam were the very first people to live in this apartment building. And then people slowly kind of trickled in. But, like, we honestly didn't really fill up until after you guys were here. Like, it was just the 4 of us for a little bit. It felt like.
It did feel like.
You know, it felt like it was just us. I like to say that I convinced them, even though I don't think it took much convincing.
No, I was set. I was very decided, and I feel like when I decided that, I was like, we could just move in. Like, after that night, that was probably a Tuesday, I can assume. I think that Thursday, me and Justin toured this layout. Honestly, it took some time, I feel like, to do the application and all of that because we had to sell our house. We had to have the timing of selling our house and getting a contract to line up with moving in here because from that point where I was like, we need to move like back to town, it set off all of the dominoes of like moving and selling your home, which is so much. And it was not fun in basically any way at all except the final destination. It was not the climb. The climb was not whatever Miley Cyrus says. You know, it was not the climb. It was the destination for me. I'm
trying to think.
So, yeah. It took some time for everything to line up just right, but we ended up moving in here in February?
I think it was February.
Yeah. And
the best day of my life. And Adam's.
Of course. Yeah. It was the longest 4 months of my life, I would say. I guess it was probably like 3 months by the time like we actually were like looking. And
it didn't feel that long to me.
It felt
because
so
I was
long.
seeing you
It wasn't.
Week, so.
Yeah, we did see each other, but it was like I just wanted to be here so bad.
Yeah.
Like, because I would come over. Well, I live 14 steps away from her. She lives 14 steps away from me. We live one apartment over.
One apartment over.
Just one apartment over.
And what's funny is that you were scared. You were like, do you really like want us to, like, are you okay if we live in the one next to you?
Yeah.
'Cause, like, our dogs bark. And at the time, we didn't have a dog. And I would say, in general, I am a cat person as much as I love your dogs and my dog. But at the time, I was a cat person. We lived a very quiet life. And you were so nervous.
I was. Because there were plenty of apartments open. Like, but realistically, we could have lived in one of the other buildings.
They weren't going to be ready yet.
That one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. There were ones available over there or, like, just down this hall. But there was also this one that was available next door. And so when we did figure out that it was, like, not going to be a thing and that we could just live next door, I would pass it every week. I would see my door. I would see the door to the apartment I would once get access and keys to, and I couldn't go in. Mm-hmm. And I had to drive my sad little butt back home. And I would stay so late because I did not want to go home.
You would stay late, yeah.
Yeah. Well, not that I didn't want to go home to him, but it was just like, I just wanted to hang out. And it was so, like.
And it feels so, like, so close. Like,
yeah.
So
I would, like, go home at, like, 11 p.m. or something on, like, literally a work night. Which is fine, except I had a 50-minute drive. Mm-hmm. And. Yeah. And
that's kind of how it was for, like, even whenever I would visit you, I felt like we would stay super late and it was like, it was a hefty drive home, but it was just like, we just wanted to hang out.
Yeah. It just kind of like the time just slipped. I feel like for the most part, we were just hanging out. And yeah, we ended up moving in February of this year. So we have officially been roomies, neighbors, besties for 7 to 8 months.
It's made life so much better, so much more enjoyable.
Every way.
I've been trying to convince everyone I know to move into our apartment building, like everyone that I love, you know, so that everyone's all in the same apartment complex.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. It really is.
We literally live next door. 14
we do
steps.
Basically everything together. We see each other
most of the time.
Like almost every day, I'd say.
Yeah.
If not.
Yeah. We try to see each other.
We try
every day. Even if it's just like a walk, which we do with the boys as well. Do neighborhood walks. And we still have our Tuesdays. But our Tuesdays are now no longer for Bachelor. Bachelor is not number one in our hearts. Our podcast is. We will spend every Tuesday together to make you new episodes. And we hope that you love them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
We are going to be doing this every Tuesday from now on, moving forward.
New episodes every Monday.
Yeah. Episodes every Monday. So stay tuned.
We're going to talk about everything you want to know about.
Yeah.
Basically.
Mostly, I guess you can expect to see a lot more of us, hear a lot more from us in our lives, our friendship, different lifestyle topics, girly topics, stories, chit chats, advice.
We want to hit on a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
We love to talk, and we thought, what better way to put that to use than to talk to more than just us on this couch, on her couch. Now
on a couch, 14 steps away.
Yep. We have a lot of exciting topics and conversations that we are looking forward to having from now till the end of the year. We have some very exciting ones. And then obviously we are very excited for whatever next year brings. But lots of topics we already have that we are looking forward to sharing with you.
Thanks for tuning in to our first episode.
See you next week.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.